Morning, everybody. It's 6:05 in the morning here. I've picked this time because I'm less disturbed by the noise of the traffic going by. But the swallows, they don't pay any attention to early mornings, so you're going to have to bear with the noise from them. You're going to have to bear with the song from them. This is a story about this 4LW here. And really the essence of it is how bad the inside of a Gardner can be and they'll still run. So superficially looked at from the outside, they can seem fine, but inside is a different story. So we'll start by just taking a quick look at this engine running just before it came here. Now we'll take a look at what we had to do whenever we opened up the inside. Now these videos, I shot some of them some time ago, so there may be a little bit of duplication and there's nothing I can do about that. So,
the first thing we noticed when we pulled the blocks off was that there was quite a bit of wear in the pistons. This can be judged by very simply by just measuring the slap in the rings. You can see there's quite a bit of slap in those rings. We also measured the bores and we decided that the bores, there was too much wear in the bores, so we had to fit new liners. And once those were fitted, they had to be bored out, and you can see the machine boring them there now. For some reason these liners proved to be really very hard because there was I think 3 different boring tools worn out by this process. You can see here also the amount of sludge and debris and horrible stuff that was collected around the cam followers. So we had to remove the cam followers and clean all that stuff. It really was awful. We also discovered that in fact the clicking noise at the top of the engine wasn't debris as I had predicted. It was in fact a small amount of slap in the small end bush. But we were able to address that by simply fitting a new gudgeon pin there, and that tightened the whole thing up. Given that disgusting material around the cam followers, we weren't very optimistic about what was happening in the sump itself. Here you can get the impression of the horrible soup that was coming out whenever we tried to drain her. This is more evidence of this gritty, horrible stuff. One of the challenges that we face here is how do we get rid of this debris? We certainly don't want to let it go into the environment, so we have to dispose of it in an environmentally responsible way. And of course, there's costs associated with that. Here you can see, look, that it really is horrible. So what we'll do now is we'll wash out the gauze and we'll clean up the sump as best we can. Here you can see the gauze nice and clean and screwed back in where it's meant to be. And here's a better view showing the whole sump nicely cleaned. Here you can see the shells, and they're fine. We looked at both the mains and the big ends, and they were grand. And the shaft itself, you can see, is fine. There's no scoring on it, and it's in really pretty good condition. Here's a typical injector pipe of this engine. So we decided that despite the fact that it was running, we would just renew all the injector pipes. And in fact, given the pitting on the heads, especially in the supporting structures on the rocker shafts and so on, we decided to fit new heads. And I think that was a wise decision. Here we have the engine running again. You can see she's certainly a lot tidier now than was whenever she come in. And internally she's also nice and clean. So I think there's another 20 or 30 years left in this engine yet, despite its initial very poor condition. We still have to fit an alternator, and we still have to do the special shaft to take the gear.
Once again, I hope you got something out of that. We certainly enjoyed restoring this engine. It's as you can see, it's running lovely now, and I think the customer will be quite happy with it. Thank you.